start with the question, what is curriculum evaluation? Curriculum evaluation is made up of two prime terms, the curriculum and the evaluation. Curriculum means a holistic experience and plan for learning which is meant for students both within and outside the boundaries of the school. It is purposely synthesized to draw the best within the students. Evaluation, on the other hand, is essentially consists of gathering and combining data in relation to weighted set of goals or scale to allow people make feedbacks or judgments about worth of a thing, programs, events, and more that enables one to decide whether to accept, change, or eliminate the curriculum. Curriculum evaluation is the most comprehensive stage of the curriculum development, from planning, implementation, to the evaluation. Curriculum evaluation is to identify and assess the strengths and weaknesses of a curriculum even before implementation. And the most important is to update and assess the effectiveness of curriculum even after the implementation of the program. In doing so, it also gives comparison of what we have achieved with what we had set out to achieve. Different curriculum specialists have given different opinions about curriculum evaluation. So just listen as I read it all out. According to Tyler, 1942, curriculum evaluation refers to documenting how well program objectives are attained. According to Cronbach, 1963, it is the collection and use of information to make decisions about an educational program. According to Staplebean, 1969, curriculum evaluation refers to providing of useful information to decision. And to Worthern and Sanders, 1987, the formal determination of the quality, effectiveness, or value of a program product, project, process, objective, or curriculum. According to McNeil, 1977, evaluation answers two questions. First, do planned learning opportunities, programs, courses, and activities as developed and organized actually produce desired results? Second, how can a curriculum best be improved? Aside from the two questions, there are 5 types of value questions discussed by Talmadge, 1985, which pertinent to evaluating curricula. First, intrinsic value. It decides the appropriateness of a curriculum in a given context. Second, the instrumental value, which decide what is curriculum good for, and who is the intended target group. A third one is the cooperative value. When new curriculum is implemented, it must be compared with the old curriculum in terms of the skills, training, or value structure, ease of delivery, cost, student achievement, demand on resources, and even community responsiveness. The fourth, idealization value, which is very important because it talks about the optimal value on how to optimize the possible use of all the resources. And the final value, the decision value, which talks the final decision to retain, modify, or discard a program. Oliver, 1977, has identified 3 thrust areas in evaluation for curriculum improvement. These are within the curriculum as done by the teachers in the classroom. It includes the students' evaluation. Next, the entire curriculum includes the checking of the desired goals from time to time and about the process used in improving the curriculum. The aims of curriculum evaluation is to improve educational processes and programs, to identify problem areas by diagnosing difficulties while implementing curriculum, and to evolve new approaches of teaching learning and improve the ability of administrators and teachers to changes. We have here evaluation process approaches: the scientific and humanistic approaches, intrinsic and payoff approach, formative and summative approach. The scientific and the humanistic approaches. The scientific approach is probably the oldest approach to curriculum evaluation, as it dates from modernism and the emphasis on the scientific method of the 19th to 20th century. This approach to curriculum evaluation focuses on using quantitative data generated by the learners. This allows for statistical analysis, and furthermore, the results are compared in order to determine the level of success. This comparison is at the heart of decision-making when this approach is employed. Examples of widely used quantitative indicators are the number of subjects, time allocation, the proportion of different subject areas in the curriculum, textbook content and orientation, literacy rate, results in continuous assessment, number of good versus poor performance, retention rates, and test scores. Humanistic approach. In a more postmodern worldview, the humanistic approach looks at the individual rather than the numbers. Data is much more qualitative in nature. The rationale behind this is that life has multiple perspectives to it, and quantitative data only provides one perspective. Humanistic evaluators want to understand the complexities of the environment that they are assessing. This involves capturing narratives through interviews and focus groups. Observations is used not to count frequencies but to take notes of what is happening in the classroom. The qualitative method includes observation, focus group discussions, interviews, SWOT, or the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and content analysis, the observations, interviews, personal meetings, discussion with participants. The intrinsic approach. The intrinsic approach is used to assist the overall quality of a curriculum. This involves looking at the various components of curriculum design such as the scope, sequence, articulation, balance, and other aspects. Aspects of curriculum development are also assist, which means examining the teaching methods, contents, and learning experiences. However, initially at least, the criteria of evaluation is not determined by emerges after the process begins. The intrinsic approach not only examines the value of the curriculum, but also how well a given curriculum reaches its goals and objectives. This involves collecting some form of data, whether quantitative or qualitative. As such, most evaluators normally approach evaluation with some of the characteristics of the intrinsic approach. Payoff approach. In the payoff approach, clear evaluation criteria are set from the outset. Normally, evaluators look at the impact of the curriculum on its stakeholders, which often includes students, teachers, parents, and administrators. This approach to evaluation is among the most popular in education because of the clear criteria which makes data collection smooth and efficient. Formative evaluation. A formative evaluation, sometimes referred to as internal evaluation. It is a method for judging the worth of a program while the program activities are forming or in process. Thus, formative evaluations are basically done on the fly. They permit designers, learners, instructors, and managers to monitor how well the instructional goals and objectives are being met. Its main purpose is to catch deficiencies as soon as possible so that the proper learning interventions can take place that allows the learners to master the required skills and knowledge. And also, it aims to provide the existing program based on the feedback. Wally Goyot, 1978, states that formative evaluation is also useful in analyzing learning materials, students' learning and achievements, and teachers' effectiveness. Formative evaluation is primarily a building process which accumulates a series of components of new materials, skills, and problems into an ultimate meaningful whole. Summative evaluation. A summative evaluation, sometimes referred to as external evaluation. It is a method of judging the worth of a program at the end of the program activities or the summation. The focus is on the outcome. According to Scriven, 1967, all assessments can be summative. For example, have the potential to serve a summative function, but only some have the additional capacity of serving formative functions. The various instruments used to collect the data are questionnaires, surveys, interviews, observations, and testing. The model or methodology used to gather the data should be specified step-by-step procedure. It should be carefully designed and executed to ensure the data is accurate and valid. Summative approach, it carried out at the end of the educational program. So it selects several completing programs which should be accepted and those which should be discontinued. Scope or focus of curriculum evaluation starts with curriculum design, instructional material, instructional process, learning outcomes, teachers' effectiveness, curriculum policy, resource allotment, and effectiveness and efficiency of curriculum. What should we evaluate while evaluating a curriculum? First, evaluation of efforts. This regards with the quantity and quality of resources. Next, the evaluation of effects. It is the results or outcome or product or the learning outcomes are reflected in this evaluation. Evaluation of adequacy. It is the suitability to the target group. Next, we have the evaluation of efficiency. It is the cost-benefit analysis or how economically it is. And the last one, we have the evaluation of processes. We have to try to know how different inputs are manipulated to arrive at the best result and how and why program works or does not work. So we have to know what is the reason. So those are the 5 main things that we are to evaluate in curriculum evaluation. Who will evaluate the curriculum? Evaluations may be internally or externally conducted. External evaluators are likely to need more time to understand the situation they are evaluating, and while there is a possibility that tensions may arise because of differing viewpoints, external evaluators will have more distance and are likely to be trusted by donors and other outside bodies. Internal evaluators will be more familiar with the context and with the key stakeholders, but they are likely to be perceived as having a vested interest. C. A combination of internal and external evaluation are very useful. Internal evaluations being the most useful as a formative and external for summative evaluation. Who are the participants in evaluation? So we have the principal or the school director, the teachers, students, committees, outside experts, and policymakers. Steps in conducting curriculum evaluation. First, identifying primary audiences. Second, identifying critical issues. Third, identifying data source. Fourth, identifying techniques for collecting data. The fifth, identifying established standards and criteria. 6th, identifying techniques. 7th, preparing evaluation report. And 8th, preparing the modes of display. On the table shown, so we have there the steps and the things we have to consider. So in step 1, identifying primary audiences, we have to consider the curriculum program sponsors, managers and administrators, school heads, participants, the teachers and students, content specialists, and other stakeholders. Step 2, identifying critical issues and problems. So we have to consider outcomes like expected, desired, or intended, and the process, the implementation, and the resources inputs. Next one, we have the step 3, identifying data source. We have to consider the people, just like the teachers, students, parents, and the curriculum developers. Also the existing documents, available records, and evaluation studies. Step 4, in identifying techniques for collecting data. We have to standardize test, informal test, sample of students, work, interview, participants, observations, checklist, anecdotal record. Step 5, identifying established standards and criteria. So we have to consider the standards previously set by the agencies, just like the DepEd or the Department of Education, the CHED, the professional organization. Step 6, identifying techniques in data analysis. We have here the content, process analysis, statistics, comparisons, evaluation process. Step 7, preparing evaluation report. You have to consider the written or oral, the progress, the final summary, descriptive, graphic, evaluative, and judgmental list of recommendations. And in step 8, preparing the modes of display. You have to consider the case studies, test score summary, testimonies, multimedia presentations, the product display, and even the technical report. We have here the expected outcomes for the strategies or tools to assess the curriculum. So we have there the paper and pencil strategy, performance-based strategy, personal communication strategy, the oral strategy, reflective strategy, and the combination of strategies. Regarding this topic, just send to my email address princesspinoliar30@gmail.com. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.